I have another question. When most of the global leaders like yourself come, everybody puts this tag of $250 million for a semiconductor product development. We in this room, quite a few of us differ from that view. Can you basically kind of shed some light where is that $250 million tag is coming from? Because based on our little understanding, we can do the similar chips in about $30 to $50 million in India.
Well, so that's very interesting, and maybe it is a lot different here. Most of the data that I have, all of the data I have, I would say, comes from European and Silicon Valley VCs, and my experiences directly with them, where they've shown me the data from their portfolio companies, and over time, the costs have just skyrocketed. So looking at it differently, and maybe as a state-run capitalism, if you will, if there is more innovation, better ideas, more capability, and here in India, you can continue to do it for 50 million, I would strongly recommend that you create a venture capital basis to be able to serve that industry. Because the innovation, I never believe, comes from large companies, or rarely large companies. And I would almost challenge you to think about very many industries where it was the large companies that dominate. They get large eventually. I threw up there Cisco in 1990. I always think, wow, in 1990, we were servicing Cisco and IBM and making little chips and stuff for them. And they were a tiny little company. And you'd say, who would win the internet build-out race? You'd say, well, maybe Nortel, maybe IBM, right? Maybe Alcatel, maybe Lucent. But certainly Cisco went from nothing to a world leader in doing that. Same thing with Nokia, right? Shouldn't have been a boot or rubber company.
The problem here is that basically VC community will always listen to the global leaders like you or Jup or GSA and all those things, right? About a month back, Jup was here from a GSA chairman, right? We had the same question from him. He did not have answer, but everywhere if we go and do this presentation of $250 million, VCs are going to be influenced by that rather than be tiny group saying $50 million we can do it, right?
Well,
so,
no.
It's sending a wrong message to the VC community because they are going to listen to you, not to us.
Actually, it was the other way around. Right? I didn't come up with this and tell them. It was when I was looking for the money, they told me. So they told me, yeah, you can show us this $30 or $50 million all you want. Okay, here's my data. It's $250 million. So your lies are pretty good.
Yeah, in your slide also you had said, you said $10 million for mask set. That's not true, right? Today, even for 40 nanometer, I can get a mask set for $1.5 million, right? So, means why I'm arguing on this thing is that are we killing the basically interaction between entrepreneur and the VC by continuously propagating this message that it's too expensive? Between tools and mask set, today they are not majority of the percentage as your slide show, they are minority. The biggest cost in a SoC is IP today. Okay, about 30% of the cost goes into IP, 40% goes into the software, and so on and so forth. So the mask set and the EDA tools are becoming minority rather than majority.
So again, right, this is a great debate, and I think the data will just play out. Unfortunately, the economics, right, even though there's no controlled experiments come out, if what you say is true, right, VCs are very coin operated. They're like sales guys. You put the coin in, the sales guy runs and gets the job done, right? Once he gets the job, you put another coin, he runs and goes. So VCs are the same way. They are ruthless in their approach to the financial part of this industry. If you can do it in a different economics, if India is different, right, the money will come here. Because let's be honest, right? We've done that as our company. The design team that we have here in Bangalore is fantastic. Very top-notch, they can do everything. So if the data that I have, which is from the VCs, right, from the industry reports, from our team, is wrong, and it's different here, right? I encourage you, right, absolutely to go seek that out and build it, because you will be able to dominate the planet. Because the economics doesn't appear to work anyplace else. But it might be different here, right? There's lots of, economics are different in China, right? As an example, every time you go to China, anybody in the semiconductor industry I would suspect tell you that the prices that you end up selling things to in China are less, even though you know there's a gray market. It seems to be always the case. So if you have something different, right, you have an enormous opportunity here that you can propagate on, because the rest of the Western world, unfortunately, is working off of different economics. Again, not from people like me, right? I was on the other side trying to get money and couldn't.
We need your help in propagating the right message. Probably that's what, because BC, suppose I propose them this thing, they are going to go and validate this data from somebody like you or Jupe or somebody like that, right? That's what they do. They are going to go to some big global leader and say, can you validate this data, right?
I'm not sure we're so global. We're not Google yet. Well, a few $100 billion. But how about this? If you show me the data that you have, I will absolutely help you, because I'm going to find a way to make money off of it myself. So it'll be very spoiled. Now, one thing when you do that, right, you can't take the positive assumptions on everything. Because I'll give you an example of my friend, and I won't tell you the company, but he runs a startup. And he was showing me the data, and he was showing me the financial forecast, and he wanted me to invest in it. And I said, okay, I'll say his name is Jeff. It's not, but Jeff, this is very interesting. I said, so when are you taping out the chip? Oh, we're taping it out in January. And I said, okay, how long is it in fab? Well, it's about 4 months. I said, okay. I said, and how long is it going to take to debug it? I don't know, 3 or 4 months. I said, okay, then you're going to sell it? And yeah, then we're going to sell it. And and the customers are going to buy it. How long does it take you to get in the system? Oh, about 6 months. I said, okay, so you have $4 million of revenue this year, and I just backed out a calculation that you won't have anything till next year. He said, oh, well, you're not going to invest, are you? I said, no, I'm not going to invest. So if the economics are flawed because of the model, and you go back and forth and say, I have 100% confidence of A, B, and C, and it should be 50% confidence of A, B, and C. So 0.5 to the 3 power is different than 100 to the 3 power. So I will definitely help you. Excellent. I love this debate.
Good morning, Dr. Black.
Hi. Ron, not Dr. Black's my dad.
Ron. Thank you so much. You mentioned about the IP redevelopment cost, and we really need to look at it from an economic standpoint. But reusable IP is not always reusable.
Yes.
We always need to tweak and do things.
Right.
Where do you kind of draw the line?
That's an excellent question. And unfortunately, given that I haven't done real work in 20 years, I probably can't answer it specifically enough for you. But it's something that we spent a lot of time in Rambus doing. We had a propensity to do what I would call a bespoke solution. So we always wanted to do everything customized, right, completely. I think that engineers like to do that because it's more fun, because you get to tweak everything, and you're sure that if you're tweaking, it's always better, right, by definition. And we've pushed back on that concept and tried to create a platform that allows some level of flexibility in the IOs that we develop, but not infinite flexibility. And the whole concept here is to have a sufficient amount of it that is reusable. So we start from a base. Now, the part that I can't tell you is, let's sit down and architect what is the part that you want to tweak and versus the part that you don't want to. So Krishna and his team would have to do that. But I feel strongly that if you do not create some constraints on the engineering community and you allow it to completely tweak everything to a bespoke solution, it becomes, you can argue with me again. I enjoyed that. Nothing. Oh, last question. Am I supposed to read it? No. Nothing? Shall we go back to work? Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, sir. I would request, kindly be there, sir. I would request Mr. Sanjeev Keskar to give away a memento to Dr. Ron Black and also give away the vote of thanks.
sorry I didn't wear my tie, but Silicon Valley, we don't have to wear ties. Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, also I would request you to give a memento to Mr. Krishna for the support extended.
Thank you, Dr. Ronald. This topic, economic evolution of semiconductor industry, and the importance of IP. You have really created a lot of excitement, as well as the debate you had at the end was very, very interesting. So thank you very much for taking time out to be with us today. No doubt every one of us understand the importance of IP, power of IP and innovation. And cost of mistake also, all of us understand very well. However, the use of IP, definitely all of us are under pressure of time to market. So if we can really use IP which is already innovated, no one wants to reinvent the wheel. And if we can really achieve the scale of economics with reuse of IP, that is something very, very important, and all of us look forward to. At IESA, we definitely have a charter to create a fabulous ecosystem startup culture in India. And in India, we have seen that most of the captive design centers of large MNCs, the senior people who have spent 15, 20 years, they have aspirations, they have some brilliant innovative product ideas which they want to experiment and do something on their own. And definitely there is a challenge for startups of infrastructure, of investment for EDA tools. So at IESA, understanding this particular point, we have decided to really focus on creating an incubation center, VLSI incubation center, where all the tools will be available for those startups, and people having a great product idea can really avail this incubation center to convert their idea into the real product. So we want to focus on promoting this startup culture in India. At the same time, when we are talking about reducing the import dependency and creating manufacturing ecosystem, our emphasis is not only on creating the low value added contract manufacturing or EMS systems here. IES's focus is completely on creating a high value added manufacturing, be it a component ecosystem, be it a PCB manufacturing, passive components. But the major IP or major value of any product is into product IP as well as the component IP, and that's where we are going to focus to create an end-to-end ecosystem at IESA. And all the government policies which are recently announced and all our efforts of Secretariat team and Executive Council are focused around creating this ecosystem. So once again, thanks for taking time out to be here with Dr. Ronald today. We had a great morning, and have a great day. Thank you very much.